Hi, everybody. It's me, Katie Davis. Thanks for checking this out. I've got some tips to maximize your experience for all the webinars I am hosting. We use WebEx, and when you get the link in your email, click on the link and install any software or applets to join us in the web room. The first thing that will happen when you enter your name and log into the webinar is you'll see this screen. Your host has started an integrated voice conference. Do you want to participate? Click yes. Click yes. Do not close that or say no. Click yes, as that will start the audio for you. After you click yes, that screen will close and you'll see this little screen. It'll be asking you about phoning in. You do not have to use your phone to call in. You'll listen over your computer speakers, so just close this window. If you're still having problems with audio, sometimes it just takes a second to buffer. Just be patient and wait. If you're still having trouble hearing, make sure your speakers are on. If you're still having trouble, just go up here to Communicate at the top of your screen. At least on a Mac it is. There it is. There are a couple of settings there you can check out to test out your speakers to make sure things are working properly. Click on that Communicate button and the pull down will come down and go to the bottom right there where it says Integrated Voice Conference. There you go. And make sure you have joined the conference. If you have joined, it'll say something like leave this conference and volume, like it does there. If you have not joined, it will prompt you again to join the conference, and you will click yes and enjoying the integrated voice conference or something like that. Also, don't forget to check your volume right where it says volume right there on the pull down. Make sure that you have your volume up. It's a common mistake. You can also do a speaker microphone test. Once you do that, you'll get this pop-up menu. It says speaker and microphone, but don't worry about the microphone. You will not be on the microphone. You will be muted. All attendees are always muted. If there's hundreds of people, you have to be muted. You can check your speakers and see which speaker you've selected. And as you can see here, I have my built-in output speakers selected. So you can test that and make sure your speakers are up or working. Oftentimes, the biggest problem webinars have is attendees do not have their speaker audio on. Another setting you can check is with this little pop-up window that shows up on the bottom of my screen at least, and it says volume. And again, it shows the speaker volume and the microphone volume, and you want to make sure your speaker is not muted and turned all the way up if you're having any trouble hearing. So those are just some settings to check, and don't forget to give it a minute or so because it's got a buffer and it's got to start up. So sometimes that takes a little time. This is why we recommend people come in before the top of the hour, before the webinar starts, so you can check on your settings and take care of any tech issues before the presentation begins. Now, once you get all that set up, on the right, you're going to see a number of different panels. The one at the top says panelist and attendee. It's going to show who's on the panel, if anyone, and it will show me and the list of attendees. Again, do not worry about the microphone button. You're not going to be on live. Right below that is the chat screen where you will be able to see what everybody's talking about and who's in the room. You could see a list of all the attendees there. You're going to enter whatever you want to chat about right in that window, right where that red arrow is pointing. Right there, you can say, hey, Sally, nice to see you. Of course, unless there's nobody named Sally there. Ha ha ha. Then before you hit return, make sure you have selected who you want to send to. It should say send to all attendees. In the picture, it says send to host, but you don't want to just send it to me. You want to talk to everybody in the room, right? Right below the chat panel is the Q&A panel. You're going to use that just like the chat panel, but to ask questions about the presentation. You might want to ask, I don't understand about how to move boards around if it's a Pinterest webinar, or if it's a webinar with an agent, you could ask, please explain how long a query letter should be, or whatever. That's where your questions go. Enter all questions in the Q&A panel. Do not enter them into the chat area. Finally, at the very bottom of the screen on the lower right, for me, there is something that says Manage Panels. See where that red arrow is? You can hide the chat panel if it's distracting you, or you can move things around like lock, or you can lock panels in place. Again, it's a good idea to log on early so you can play around with all this stuff. So when the top of the hour hits, you're all ready to go in and listen and learn whatever you're there to learn and not have to ask questions about how to set up. All right, see you there.